All right. We just got back to my house, and so we thought we would sit here and talk about a few things after the run's over. Uh, so we kind of got a little bit of a list here, but I think the first thing we was going to kind of talk about, what's our first thing? Is it what went well?
Yes, what went well.
Yeah, so what went well on the trip?
And kind of in reference to what we expected to not go well, and that did. Well, for one, our mileage was better than what we expected, our fuel mileage.
Yeah.
We kind of estimated, based off of how I've driven it in the past, it'd be around 16, 17, maybe 15 miles a gallon.
Yeah, we
just
thought
with how hard we'd be pushing.
Right, as low as 15, maybe touching 18 from time to time.
Yes.
And
yeah.
it surprised us.
And surprisingly, we ended up at 18.6 average, and we had some a couple of 20s on some fill-ups. And but 18 average is pretty good for cruising at 70 plus.
Right. We also expected the thing to break down at some point.
Yes.
I mean, a towable breakdown.
Yeah.
And I think everybody else expected that as well. So, but we have successfully made it back to where we started. This is where we left from to go up to New Jersey. So we have made the huge round trip and made it back with just some minor stuff. Windshield wiper, batteries balking a little bit right now.
Yep. On the way back, the battery's been dying in between shutoffs. So.
And along.
Vanagon syndrome.
Yeah, Vanagon syndrome,
where we let off the throttle, and it's not persistent. It's pretty hit and miss.
Yeah.
But it will buck when you let off the throttle when it's acting up.
Right.
That is new. The fuel pump still is loud.
Especially when it's hot.
Yeah.
But it kept on going.
But it did keep going.
And so that brings us kind of to the next thing, is that I think what went well was two things: preparation and then what we took with us. So we took tools that we needed, but not more than what we needed. We had some spare parts like a fuel pump and fuel filter and some other little things that in case we needed it. We could change on the side of the road. Didn't need much of that, although we did use the tools from time to time, but we always had what we needed for the tools. But then I think what goes along with that is that the work you did in the months leading up to, because this is a 37-year-old vehicle, and so we was talking about how you can just take $100 bills and throw at it and they'll just suck it up. There's all kinds of stuff that could be replaced, but you looked at the stuff that, okay, this is stuff that could strand us, and that's what you concentrated on. I didn't work on it. But I think you did well with that on picking out the things, even though maybe some of our creature comforts didn't work. The van itself got back, and that was the number one.
The fundamentals, the vitals we needed to get back, they did work. And there was a comment saying like, this engine must be in tip-top shape. And it is running good. I mean, there's no denying. Obviously, it's made it there and back, but it is a high mileage. It started at 145,000 miles. I do have receipts of an engine rebuild in maybe like the year 2000, early 2000s, and but that's it. I resealed the heads. I've put like a breather tower on it. At the time I sealed the heads, I did a trans rebuild, which then failed with a bad torque converter and a piston in the trans, and rebuilt it again. And that has lasted. With CV axle, I had a problem with the oil pressure. I did have the oil buzzer above 2,000 RPM, and that's how I've driven it for 10,000 miles.
Right.
So preemptively, as engine insurance, I did put a plus-sized engine oil pump. Injector O-rings, something that was vital, I think, that could have ran into issues was a trans cooler. Having that transmission cooler, it just avoided the issues of overheating with the stock trans cooler, or the stock trans cooler failing and mixing fluids.
Right.
So that was a big deal.
How long ago did you put the rings and everything in? Because you did do that.
And I did put pistons and cylinders.
You did that when you resealed the heads, right?
Yes. Yeah. So that's 10,000 miles ago.
Yeah, 10,000 miles ago it did have pistons and cylinders, and that paid off, because what really surprised me was I expected this thing to use oil. I just, even modern cars on this long and hard of a trip, it's not unusual for them. Because this thing, we was running it at 4,000 RPM all the time. And so we drove it from here to New Jersey and out to Redondo Beach and to the hotel, and then from the hotel to the Barstow O'Reilly's, and we never added oil. We did check it. We were checking it, diligent about that.
The mark never dropped. It never burned or leaked a drop of oil.
So we never had to add oil to it in all that time, through all that abuse. And then we gave it an oil change at the Barstow O'Reilly's. Thank you. Appreciate the Barstow people. They helped us out there. And that oil was black. Oh my goodness, it looked bad, but it still wasn't bad.
We made the point that if an engine was ever going to bake out any of the sludge or casting marks or anything, it would be on a trip like this. At over 4,000 RPM for, what did we estimate the total trip? I mean...
going up to New Jersey, it was running for almost 19 hours straight, just shutting off for gas. Almost 46 hours straight across the United States. So it's probably never been up to temp like this in its entire life. And so any little thing that stuck in there, if it's going to come unglued, it did during this time. So we're both kind of curious to see what the oil looks like when you change it out now.
Now that we've got back.
But same thing on the transmission, it held up fine. One thing that Jackson brought along that I liked was an infrared thermometer. And so we could check temperature on the cases and on the transmission because it doesn't have good gauges in here as far as, we don't know what it's doing. And that's something that maybe on future Cannonball, you might want to add better telemetry on that.
Definitely.
But that worked well. And so we're really pleased.
We're dealing with just so many unknowns. Having a thermometer just to check is just a peace of mind that, okay, we're not pushing it beyond what it can do. We might make it. We might make it.
And of course, there's always the fundamentals on an old vehicle like this. Always have good tires on it. Make sure the wheel bearings are okay. Make sure good belts. Make sure the hoses aren't bad. Steering is relatively tight on this. This has really good steering for a 150,000 mile vehicle. Brakes are good. It's new calipers on the front.
New calipers.
So all those fundamentals, you definitely want those taken care of as well. And
I wanted to be safe.
Even though we may not have some of the creature comforts, cruise control, and that brings us to what would we do different next time. And cruise control is right up there.
The first one was cruise control.
Oh, my knee is aching right now. I did the last leg, and that thing has a strong return spring on it, and I feel like I was just stomping it down the entire time, trying to keep it at 4,000 RPM.
That was an unintended or just an unknown factor of not moving your ankle for 3 hours. Not even just not moving it, but holding it down.
Holding it down, and your knee never really moves. Your ankle moves a little bit up and down, but your knee
stays at the same spot.
It just feels locked up.
So first one's cruise control.
Cruise control.
Which we kind of mentioned telemetry. Getting oil pressure on the motor, oil temp on the motor and trans, and then coolant temp, just to know where we're actually at. That'd just be, so we can know if we're pushing it too hard and need to back off. Something we could have changed to improve our time is stop discipline. We kind of went into this trip, and you've mentioned kind of like this is basically just survivability. Like, can we survive? Will the van survive? Will we survive?
Will it do it? Because obviously, especially at work, the odds were against us. Everybody was saying, okay, it's a matter of when it's going to break down and how are you going to get it back home when it breaks down. And so that was really the goal at this point, was just
to make it.
Show that it'll do it. And we didn't think it would do it. But it did.
It's
amazing.
So, and now that we've done it, we could have cut more time off on our stops, but we didn't. We kind of we needed breaks. We did it healthier. In a way, where we took time, but
sliding scale
there's
there.
No health happening here.
No. But stop discipline, and that's one thing. Whenever you're doing long distance travel, trying to keep an average speed up, it's so easy to knock that down, and it's so hard to gain it back, because every minute that you're stopped, you're at 0 miles an hour. And the math is interesting on this, and I won't go into all that because it's a YouTube video. But if you're trying to maintain 60 mile an hour average and you're stopped for 1 minute, you would have to run 1 minute at 120 mile an hour to get that average back up. And of course, this thing ain't going to do it. We're not going to do it. So how do you make that up running a legal speed of 70 mile an hour it takes forever. And so once we got up around the 60, 61 mark, we managed to see 62 average for a little bit. But then when we got in LA, we lost that, and we ended up with a 61 and change average to it. And we spent so much time above 61 mile an hour trying to get that up.
It's deceiving.
It's so tough.
It's like a mental game, because you know the math adds up, but in your head you're like, man, we've been pushing so for hours, and it's not raised up 1 mile per hour average.
It's a law of diminishing returns. With every mile an hour it raises, the next one is going to be just incrementally harder. You know, you just can't gain that. But where you can gain that is on the stops, and so better stop discipline would help.
We went faster than we expected.
We did.
We estimated an average of about 55 miles an hour.
Right.
And we achieved 61. Which cut. We expected a 51 hour or 51 to 52
we was
hour
hoping
trip.
that we'd get it in 51. Honestly, worst case scenario, I think, was like 55 hours we thought it might take us. And so to get it in at 45 hours and 40 minutes is phenomenal. That is so far above expectations. That is absolute best case.
And it did it. Another thing that we changed, hoodie. I just did not bring a hoodie.
I didn't think to prepare Jackson for that, but you have wild temperature and weather changes from New York, then you get into the mountainous areas of New Mexico and Arizona. You get up near 7,000 feet, and it gets really cold at night, and then you're back down to California in the desert where it's really hot. And I was prepared with some jackets and stuff, and poor Jackson, he had to borrow stuff from me.
And I assumed we'd be colder in the north. I
and
thought when we were in New York, Pennsylvania, up there it'd be cold, but it was actually the perfect weather in the north. Hot in the Midwest, and then cold in the south.
Freezing in Arizona.
Freezing.
That was some miserable nights driving in Arizona.
So that's something we would change, or I would change. We both agreed that having 2 GPSs. Well, for one, having a GPS is awesome. A dedicated GPS that's not your phone is definitely the way to go, which I did not expect.
Right. Don't tie up your phone with navigation.
And
the GPS gives you some dedicated telemetry that is just great to have. And your phone doesn't necessarily do that. And plus, you're using your phone for everything else, for posting to YouTube, for instance, for communicating with our wives, for music. So the dedicated GPS is great. And we're like, boy, what we need are 2 GPSs, and we could have one dedicated to the run. We could use the other for mapping to the next gas stop, or to this or to that, or looking at different points of metrics.
This GPS can only display so many stats at once. So having 2, and maybe a modern GPS can do more. But having 2 to display all the stats we want to see.
And one thing, whenever we hit the end, it changed screens, and I forgot to go into the stat screen and record the actual mileage from it. So we lost that data, and that's my fault. But
we just had to go off of the odometer.
All we have is the odometer data, and mechanical odometers they're not going to be as accurate as GPS. So, but we have the time is the main thing, so we've got the time.
The next thing we have wrote down is less drinks, more ice. Overpacked on drinks. And could have used more dry ice. It didn't last the last day and a half.
We used dry ice so that we didn't have to mess with all the water and the drinks.
Which was excellent.
And it works great.
That's the way to do it.
But I had got the ratio off. I packed too many drinks and less dry ice, and we can rebalance that. If we was to do it again, are we doing this again?
Not anytime soon. Also, video documentation. If we had more time to practice with the dash cam and realize it wasn't going to work how we wanted to.
I had old equipment. The dash cam was one that I'd never used, and so it did not perform and work the way we wanted to. And it was too late. By the time we got it in and realized it, it was too late to order a new one, get familiar with it, put it in. So we kind of have a useless dash cam. And then I had a GPS tracker as well. Well, it's been a while since I've done a Cannonball, so that thing is obsolete and not supported anymore. And I pulled it out like a few days before, and I found that out. And we didn't do that. Better preparation on that. It really wasn't necessary on this one, because we didn't think we was going to make it. I can't stress that enough, that nobody thought that we would be sitting here tonight. So
the longest I had ever gone in this thing was 8 hours, and we broke down in the middle of Kansas. And that was the farthest we'd gone. Then we made it 19, and there was a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
But we still had to drive 46 more hours.
And then we made it to the West Coast, and we're like, oh, at least we made the Cannonball.
Yeah.
And then we're like, well, we still got a long drive home, and we made it.
Still made it.
And for context on this, whenever you do a Cannonball like this, if you're poor like we are, you have to drive the vehicle to New York, do the Cannonball, and then drive back home. So you cross the United States twice. And it's roughly 2,800 miles, so you're looking at 5,600 miles total, plus whatever detours and stuff you make.
And
so
we did it in
less than 5 days, just a little bit less than 5 days, but
which is 2 nights of actual sleep.
Yeah, we only slept for 2 nights,
and the rest of it is driving.
Yeah. And we would swap back and forth on the road, taking naps and driving. And again, the Vanagon works really well for that because it has a bed in back, so one person could come back and stretch in the bed, stretch out in the bed. The other person could drive, and that we were trying to be safe with it. We knew our limits and trusted each other, and whenever we would get tired, we would swap drivers.
Yeah, you have to.
We didn't want to be nodding.
You do not want to risk it.
No. Okay, what else you got?
Something we could change was meal prep. We spent a couple meals for breakfast eating, and we sat inside. We didn't get it to go.
Right.
And it was just kind of a good mental break.
Yeah, we felt like we needed the break. Yeah. But if you was going for time, you wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that. So that could cut off an hour.
And basically, the only things that we had to eat on the road was Slim Jims. We had Fig Newtons, which we would eat those like one at a time. I brought along these little peanut butter toasty crackers, and we never got into those for some reason. And you brought along stuff for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and we didn't have a knife. So we never ate a sandwich.
But had we had meal prep, we could have just stopped at the gas station.
Yeah.
Prepared us a meal and ate on the road.
Right.
That would save time. I mean, just
because every minute stopped hurts you so much. It really does.
Again, that average speed just diminishes so quickly.
And it's so hard to gain back and impossible.
One thing which we covered was GPS, getting the GPS distance.
Oh, yeah.
And then checking if we had foresight to check the accuracy of the odometer of the van.
Right.
Set 100 miles.
Right.
And drive it and see where the odometer's at.
Yeah. And
how far off.
And we could do that with the GPS because it records miles to the 10th. So we could start it, drive exactly 100 on the GPS, and then see what the odometer did, and we'd have a good idea of how far off. Because it's a 37-year-old mechanical odometer. Tire wear affects how much it's off. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, my.
Bad things.
Bad things. What do you got?
Things that I didn't expect, or something that you should expect if you do this, is 2 nights of sleep in 5 days.
Yeah.
Just kind of that idea.
Yeah.
Vanagon syndrome did happen. We started bucking, went off the throttle.
But it wasn't fatal.
It wasn't failed.
So that's
good. The coolant gauge stopped working.
Yeah, coolant gauge
just says
never
cold. Raised.
Yeah. Yeah, but the engine wasn't overheating, thankfully.
Yeah,
but
thankfully.
Coolant gauge.
The battery went bad at the end of the trip.
We've had to jump start it twice now.
Yeah.
And we'll have to jump it to get it out of my driveway.
We will.
Yeah.
We did, thanks to California, we have ants.
Yeah.
An ants infestation in the van.
Yeah.
And we don't know where it came from or why.
Barstow took us so much time because we was at O'Reilly changing the oil, and then we wanted to stop and get something to eat, and we did that, and then we got in the van and there was some ants, and all we had was Windex to kill them.
And it slowed them down.
It slowed them down, and we're like, well, maybe we should go get some. So then we had to go to a Food for Less, and I went inside, and then we're tearing up carpet. We're finding out how many ants are in this thing.
And there was a lot.
There was a lot,
it was a full nest.
We killed off most of them, but even just before we got to the turnoff here on Interstate, we still found one crawling around that hadn't died off yet. So
there's going to be ants in this van forever.
Ants, yeah. I have all my stuff sitting on the front porch because I'm going to go through it and look for ants before I take it in the house.
Decontaminate it.
Yeah. Karen may just have me burn all of it. I don't know.
And there are some things that went good that we didn't cover. Something that I thought was super valuable that I will always keep for the next Cannonball was your notes of New York City driving.
Oh yeah.
The GPS does not have a good sky signal with all
the skyscrapers. She
really
struggles.
Your coverage is bad with the satellites there.
Yeah.
So having wrote down the turn by turn, that saved us through New York.
Yeah, we got out New York, and we had that on the other end. But Jill was Jill's the GPS, by the way. Jill was leading us through that, and we missed a turn, and that cost us a lot.
Cost us a lot of time.
She circled us around. There was actually 2 different highways that we was on at 2 different times with Jill navigating after we missed that turn. So it cost us a lot of time.
We turned on the 91 and the 405 2 different times.
2 different
each.
times. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Then posting YouTube videos.
Yes.
I was obviously, everybody at work is going to watch this and say, yeah. We told you, but I was a naysayer for doing the YouTube videos. I thought it would just be a burden. But I am glad JP's kind of head up the whole thing, and it made it really easy for me. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun. People could watch it, and we did write the YouTube on the back of the van. And on the road, people were commenting, passed you here, saw you here, like saying hey, and we really appreciate that. That was just super cool that people would leave comments on the road.
And it was fun because it was about on the back of the van, people going by, honking, waving, thumbs up. It was a good time.
Just community on the road.
Yeah, the YouTube videos, that really is a help, because if we were trying to text everybody individually about progress, it'd just be unmanageable for friends and family. And so this way we could do that, and anybody could check on our progress anytime they wanted to. And we didn't have to tell the same stories 50 times. So hopefully everybody out there enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed it too. So, all right, what else you got? It's getting dark.
I think.
And this is a long video.
That's all that I've got wrote down.
Okay. Well, I don't know if I have another one of these left in me or not, but we'll
think
see.
I do. It may or may not be in a van again.
We've talked about what stupid vehicle we would want to take on a Cannonball next.
Something from the
I voted
Malaise
for
area.
a Chevette.
Chevette. That would be a good
Pacer,
one.
Gremlin. But who knows?
We'll see.
It may be a Vanagon again. A Vanagon. All right. Well, I think the final thing then, since we're losing light, is just want to say thanks to everybody. First of all, it beats our wives, because it's amazing that they would let us take off and do something absolutely insane like this for no reason whatsoever. Is basically what we did, just to prove that it could be done. And of course, our friends at work, and we worked around so that we could take time off and do this. So everybody at work, and of course everybody's interested to see where we're going to break down, but our families, and then O'Reilly and Barstow, they were nice. They were nice.
Yeah, everybody on the road that we passed that waved or left a comment, we really appreciate it. Thank you for
it was cool to meet Sam and Jenny from Ontario, Canada, driving another one of these, driving a Westie, right?
Yeah, it was a Westie, 1990 Westie.
So it was funny to run into them, because they had driven quite a ways. Probably 3,000 miles
from
or
Canada,
so.
all the way down to past Barstow. Lake Havasu. I can never say it.
Yeah, Lake Havasu City.
Havasu City.
So that was cool to run into them.
Yeah,
and
good travels to them.
The people
and if they do watch this, you guys have to stop by as you come through on I-44. We'll give you a place to sleep.
Oh. All right, well, I think that's it for now, but thanks everybody for watching. We assume this will be our last video we post on here, so this is just kind of a wrap up.
Till next time.
So till the next time, we'll see you later.